Minnesota. And Carol is, your title exactly, Carol?
I'm a senior research associate.
Okay. And she is representing WinTAC today. And if you were on the call yesterday or the one last week, I've mentioned this as a fantastic resource for all of you to consider if you've not been on that website, just like OIB TAC that you've heard Sylvia speak a number of times. Please visit WinTAC too, because they also have great resources. And I spoke to Chaz Compton a couple of weeks ago, Carol, and just talked about what we're all facing with the inability to see people at least safely right now, face to face. And how are we creative, but also observing quality services and meeting our contracts with state agencies across the country. Also important, we have to sustain our organizations through this. So now many of our organizations have contracts that specifically, especially if you're working in transition pre-ETS, specifically require the delivery of work experience and other summer programming. And there are other contracts and programs that typically do that too. So, Carol is not the Wizard of Oz, so give her a break, but she's going to share what she can. And then we're going to lean on each other and try to figure this out together. So Carol.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. So up till December of last year, I actually was the director of Minnesota Blind. And so I have, it's nice to be here with you all. I feel like I'm with my people. So that's good stuff. And I had retired after working for the state for 37 years and still I have life left in me. I started young. And so I was really excited to work with WinTAC and had done a lot of work with them. I am a member of the pre-employment transition services team, and it was an area near and dear to my heart right when WIOA went into effect. We were one of the early adopters of really doing a lot of different creative programming at Minnesota Blind, and got into a lot of really fun areas. So I keep in touch with all of the blind agencies. They are in my kind of book of business in my work with WinTAC. We have been doing a lot of work in response to the pandemic. So I will talk to you a little bit about what we've done and point you to where some resources are. We definitely do not have all the answers. We have spent a lot of time trying to collect resources from different states to see what they're doing, and continue to do so. I talk to people every day, multiple times a day, and we do update our website 2 times a day. So I want to point you first to wintac.org, and it's wintac.org, and that's where you will find our homepage. We were able to add some kind of services we're providing in response to the pandemic under the federal grant that we received from the Rehab Services Administration. And they allowed us to develop a couple different pages to help our states and others respond to the COVID-19. And so when you go to our homepage, you will find links to 2 different pages that are newly created. We did it right at the end of March, and we have a lot of people linking into our resources. One is called Resources for Distance Service Delivery, and the other page is COVID-19 resources. We do, under the COVID-19, you'll find a lot of general things like the CDC has, but we do have some very specific resources related to COVID-19 and individuals with disabilities. So you'll find some things on there for people with vision impairments. And so I always feel like it's a good place to look to for some general things you might want to see what's going on. I know we just had received a resource this morning that we were adding to the page too. So, and it was about a vision related issue. So definitely look at that. But if you go to Resources for Distance Service Delivery, it's broken into sections. And the very first section is on how VR agencies are responding and effective practices. And the second kind of bucket of items there is on service provision for vendors and staff. And you will find different resources that states have, either instructions they've given to providers, like things to expect maybe in the contract that would be different, and ways they're going to approach how they're going to allow for virtual service delivery. And that can be very helpful to you as you're kind of looking at what's going on. There also are some different resources out here that states have provided that they have developed for virtual service delivery, and ways they may be using Zoom and other platforms. And there are actually, North Carolina Blind has, they have like 8 weeks worth of activities that are dealing with workplace readiness and self-advocacy. So there's you'll find a lot of different interesting pieces in that section. If you go a little further down, you will find another bucket that will be called, as I'm scrolling our huge page, remote delivery of services by topic area. And the very first chunk is pre-employment transition services. And we have been just gathering up all these different resources from all over. People have sent lots of things in. But there are some virtual-based platforms that are accessible. They cover all 5 required activities under pre-employment transition. The first one is Explore Work. It's something our team developed last year, and we're making some enhancements too. We just upgraded the server because so many people were on it and it crashed, so that you shouldn't run into those kind of glitches. The nice thing about Explore Work is that it does give a certificate of completion when a student is at the end of that, doing their curriculum. But there are some others I want to point out. T-Folio is a brand new resource. It's out of the University of Wisconsin. It's free. It's an online transition portfolio tool. There's a lot of excellent lessons. We've had numbers of different folks have been using it and really liking it. And you will also see in this grouping other things you can look to, whether it's the Career One Stop or ONET, or maybe even like Nebraska has their career videos are out there. There's just a whole list of resources. We've also done some training on this particular topic. Oh yeah, there's my sites up.
Yeah, you want me to click on something, Carol?
Yes, so you could click on, Lee, if you want to click on that resources for distance service delivery. Yeah, because I had it up over on my other side. And we scroll down a little bit, and then that way folks can see. So how VR agencies are responding, effective practices. That second bucket where you're at right now with service provision vendors and staff, that's what I was talking about. You'll see a lot of different resources in this area. Some have to do with what the state guidance they've given to providers. Some of it is actual programs and such. So it's really good to kind of look through. You find a bunch of different information. This is where the North Carolina Blind has their 8 weeks worth of activities, remote activities. People have been using those. There is, this Transition Tennessee number 11, the Resources for Distance Learning Forum. That is actually a really good resource to give you ideas on how to do distance learning.
Okay.
And Georgia has developed some very cool YouTube videos, and they actually have a whole handbook that goes with them when you're looking at strengths, needs, and interests. There's a self-assessment tool for Minnesota Blind. There's just, you're going to see a lot of different things listed under here. And Michigan Blind listed online resources for delivering the 5 required PREETS activities. Minnesota Blind on number 21, they are going to have peer mentors that they are hiring this summer who are going to mentor students because they've already gone through some of these programs, and they are going to pay them to be mentors to students who are new to going through some of the programs that they're moving to this online platform for this summer.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And so they have their position description right there you can grab. So you'll see there's a lot of different pieces. There's a webinar. We've done a couple webinars. We did providers in the pandemic back in April, early April, and there you heard from 4 different states about ways they were interacting with their providers and what the expectations were and how they were changing. And then we did more recently, we had a Thirsty Thursday think tank, creative ways states are delivering PREETS in a pandemic. So I've got the PowerPoint and the transcripts out there. Then if you scroll down a little more, Lee, we'll get to the resources. It'll keep going for distance service delivery. It'll be after the training. We have a lot on this website. There's a lot of information. Yes, so remote delivery is serviced by topic area. Here's where I was talking about, PREATS is the first topic. You have a link in there to explore work. Pathways to the Future is a West Virginia program. There is GCF Learn Free. There's like 7,000 lessons there. T-Folio's the one I was mentioning from Washington. That's brand new. It popped out at the end of, I think it was the end of March. And it's open to anybody to use. They're really tickled. The University of Washington developed it, and they want people to use it. And then you'll see all these different, the career clusters and, you know, ways to do career exploration on ONET and Career One Step. The Transition Tennessee Curriculum Database is brand new as well. It came out in April. That's searchable. You can look, they have all the curriculum for pre-employment transition compiled from the whole country, and you can sort it by cost. Some is free, some has a cost. They also have filters for lessons specifically for blind or low vision students, and also for students who may be deaf or hard of hearing. And the Nebraska Career Clusters, they have a variety of different videos and exploration into different careers. And just like you'll just see this huge, there's just this whole list. We also have other trainings that are on the training portion of our website. So Lee, if you go back up to the top, I'm going to have you click on topic area. Go to topic area first, pre-employment, and then to training. So here again is a place you can find
Am I still sharing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's where you can find that Thirsty Thursday. We've done a number of webinars with the NTAC. And so there's one that we're using social media, strategies for students with complex support needs. There's the providers in the pandemic. I believe there's one on work-based learning experiences. Yeah, they're on 4/7, employment and work-based learning experiences in a virtual world. Those are always good for a look. And then we are going to have a work-based learning, just a resource webinar, should be coming out shortly. We're just taping it. We did a little this week, and then we'll finish it next week. And that'll be out. We just wanted to focus on all the many resources we've seen.
I take it back. I think you are the Wizard of Oz.
No, I'm not. But kind of the cool things I've heard about summer, I mean, some of the states are like, oh, we don't know what we're doing with summer jobs. Other people are like, you know what, we're going to figure out anything you can do online that other people do. They're looking at gig economy jobs. Some people are like Instacart shopping or whatever it is they're trying to expose kids to. They are talking about the blogging, podcasting. I know one state got contacted about the contact tracing that is needed everywhere with the pandemic, and possibly having some of the students experience some work in that space, and anything else that's done, you know, virtually. So they're trying to get really creative. The other thing they are doing, some states are like, you know, it really would be up to the child and their parent, depending on comfort level and all of that. But there are a lot of people hiring. So Target and Walmart and all the grocery stores, you know, with personal protective equipment, and if people are feeling safe or not. I mean, that's really, you'd have to really work with the PR agency and the families. But there are still people being hired, and those are real jobs. So I think it's just taken a lot of ingenuity for this summer. It doesn't look quite the same, but I'm hoping some of this would give you a little bit of a launching place to at least look. We try, and we get new things every day. I get new information from folks. So I really encourage you to take a look.
Yeah, this is just an incredible wealth of information. So I hope everyone will take some time with their staffs to go through this and see what could work for you and what you're trying to figure out. Anybody have questions for Carol about the WinTAC website or other things? if somebody, I'm having trouble getting back to the screen that I want. I guess I should stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing for now. Okay, we go. There we go. Do we have any, if you go to the bottom of your screen, there is a button called Reactions, and actually that's not where, in Participants, there should be a place for you to raise your hand, but either way. Okay, Pat Marshall, would you like to ask a question? Unmute yourself. There you go.
I'm on video.
Nope, Pat didn't want to. Joette, did you want to ask a question?
Notice history.
No, thank you. I just wanted to say
You
cool.
just wanted to try. Oh, you're just giving us a thumbs up. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm one of those older generation people. I'm still trying to catch up with this. Last night there was this really cool thing on Facebook Live, and it took me 25 minutes to figure out how to click onto it. Oh my God. So any questions for Carol? All right, well, Carol, we really appreciate you sharing this information. And I think everybody, if they haven't already, needs to go back and really take some time with that and see what could be helpful.
And if anybody does have a question later, you can, sometimes you have to think about it, or maybe after you look at the materials, you can always email me. And my email address is cnpankow, PANKOW, @gwu.edu.
We'll put that in the chat and the resources that we're sharing with you, everybody, at the end of this meeting. But I mean, feel free to take it down yourself. But Wendy got it too, and she'll add it to the chat, so you have that. So I bet you're going to get a few emails, Carol.
It's all good.
There, it's in the chat right now. You're welcome to stay with us, Carol, and hear some of the conversations. But
I'm going to. Thank
okay,
you.
great. So we are. Let me do this. Use that reactions button again and give me a thumbs up if you're willing to move into your breakout room and have a conversation with colleagues who are working on the same age group. And where is Ben? Okay, everybody.
I'm here.
Most people are doing it, not everybody. Ben, did everybody respond to in pre-registration to a breakout group or not necessarily?
So they did. Unfortunately, we didn't pre-assign any rooms. I was under the impression that you would be able to select the room you wanted to enter, which is not the case. I have to assign it. So we can do it one of several ways. We could, have everyone put in chat which room they'd like to break out into if there's a specific topic, or I can just divide up the groups into groups of 10 or however many, and
you know
take it away from there.
You know which ones are with each age group, or that are you saying that you don't know that?
I don't have that information in front of me.
Oh boy. I told you it was an experiment.
I could pull it up and get through 70 registrations.
Well, the simple version might just be a roll call at this point. If we want to go by age for sure, just go through your screen of names, and
Okay.
as you have your breakout rooms up, well, yay or
Okay,
nay.
we could do that. So Ben, I will go through. Can you do it simultaneously? So if I call one person's name at a time, they tell me which age group they are, you can put them in that breakout room right away?
I can indeed.
Okay, good. All right, so let's just do it that way. I'll go through each name on here and you tell me, do you want to be in birth through 5? That's the first group, is that correct?
It is now.
Well, no, wait. What did we have before?
Preschool age, transition age, and school age.
Okay, does that work? Is there anybody here who wants to talk about summer programming for adults?
This is Susie Millis from Cleveland, and I am interested in adults. And
Okay. Anybody else with adults? If you're the only one, Susie, then it's not going to be much of a conversation. So
okay, we also have a summer camp for children, so that
okay, so
would be okay too.
All right, great. Okay, so those are the choices: preschool, children's, school age children, and pre-ed transition.
Welcome.
Wasn't long enough.
No, it wasn't long enough. Unfortunately, we took a lot of time getting you into groups, but have a suggestion. In the transition group, they've already asked that we arrange sort of an affinity group for them to meet again. Yes, Cindy thinks that's a good idea for the other groups too. So I think it would be easier for me if you tell me, wait a minute. Oh, okay, sorry. It would be easier if you tell us if you don't want to be part of that. And because then what we're going to do is share your email addresses, names and email addresses with each other. We can arrange the time for you all to meet, but I think it's best if you guys just run your own meetings, okay? You don't need us there. So let us know if you don't want to be part of the group that you were with, but there may be others out there who would join if they knew that you were continuing on this path. There was some excellent discussion and really important discussion in the transition group. How was school age? Did you have enough time to share a little bit at least? Yes, a little bit.
A little
You need
too
some
short.
time.
Yeah.
Awesome in school age, says Mary.
Awesome ideas, but we could have kept going for hours.
Yes. So you do need to come back together again. And preschool? Good, Kathy? Good.
Yeah, it was good.
Good, good. Okay, so I would like to conclude by just asking Carol. Carol was in the transition group. Do you have any thoughts from that discussion or anything else that you've thought of since we left the larger group that you'd like to share, Carol?
No, I'd just be interested though what's going to happen this summer as you go through those different activities, however you're going to offer, whether it's virtually or you are going to be in person. It's just nice if I can be in the loop too, because we get so many questions every day. Then I can help like link people together. That would be awesome.
All right, super. If you have any last minute thoughts for us to consider, please add it to the chat. We are not going to have another general call on this subject. We will organize you into affinity groups so you can focus on your areas, and we will probably share that information with our larger membership or program leaders group. So in case there's any others that couldn't make it today that would like to join, we'll be able to do that. Does that sound like a plan? Good?
Yes.
All right. My heart goes out to all of you. Thank you so much for the excellent work that you do. Please keep it up. We've never been through more challenging times, and just really honored to be associated with all of you. Thank you for making this your vocation. And we're going into a holiday weekend. So as we started at the beginning of the meeting to say, drink as you pour. And speaking of drinking, we host a virtual happy hour today at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Wendy or Ben's going to type in the information of that Zoom call in chat in case you want to join.
Yes.
Okay, so have a wonderful and safe but enjoyable, relaxing Memorial Day weekend. Carol, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll keep in touch with you. Thank you all.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
good weekend. Be safe.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.